I think we might be live. And let me shout out on the twits that I am live. So, I've kind of forgotten how to do this, frankly. It's been 6 months. So the last time I streamed, I think, was before GDC. It was, that would have been like March-ish, question mark, maybe. Um, And GDC happened, and things were a bit crazy around then. And then I took some vacation, which took us up to like April. And then work got crazy, and then I moved apartments, and life has just been really chaos for the last, well, like basically the last 6 months. And frankly, it's still kind of chaos. But one thing that I noticed is that I've not been playing many games lately, and that's a bad thing. So I wasn't super happy about that, and I decided that I wanted to get back into it. I wanted to get back into kind of playing some games, talking about AI. I'm looking here because I've got a screen over here. I'm really ought to be looking here because this is where the camera is. But at the moment, I've just got a game screen. So one thing that I have done is that I have added a game capture system to my setup. What that means is that I'm no longer limited to just playing PC games, and I'm going to be playing. Well, right now I'm going to be playing some Xbox stuff and digging in. So I've got my controller. Um, One thing that I do suffer with, and like doesn't really get talked about, I guess. It's not a major disability or anything, but like I have pretty bad carpal tunnel, and I've been doing a lot of typing, a lot of writing with my hand for work, and that kind of puts me in a position where I don't really have a strong inclination to sit down and actually use like mouse and keyboard to kind of do stuff because like it really fucks me up in the across these knuckles and then wrist back to my elbow, and if it gets real bad, it will come back to this right shoulder. What I find is that the Xbox controller is actually a big help for that. Um, so, without further ado, let me kick over to hopefully, if I go here, it looks like I'm broadcasting. Let me actually go here. It looks like I'm broadcasting the screen, and let me just. Okay, that looks like the audio is coming across the stream as well. Hopefully. Uh, so let's start some Hollow Knight. I've heard a lot about Hollow Knight from a variety of people over a wee while. I've never played it before. Um, so one thing about this new apartment that's really cool is I probably shouldn't slash can't move the camera, uh, but in the old apartment I'd kind of got a weird curtain setup where they were very thin curtains, but also the light was coming in at different angles, and that meant that the green screen behind me was lit up at different shades of green, and it made the chroma key effect actually hard to implement. I have no idea what the audio mix is going to be like. Frankly, I've been out of streaming for so long, I'm not expecting anybody to just randomly show up. What I will do is I'll archive this video afterwards, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the mix doesn't absolutely suck. I did do some mic checks. I thought they worked okay, but I'm not sure. Okay. With all of those disclaimers and all of that waffle done, let's jump into things. So I've only got a fairly minimal understanding of what Hollow Knight even is. So let's start a new game and see what happens. Hopefully there's a Fatui. In the wilds they speak your name with reverence and regret, for none could tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. On the palest watch you taught we changed, base instincts were redeemed, a world you gave to bug and beast as they had never dreamed. Fucking okay, cool. Wait, is this Hallow Knight or Hollow Knight? I thought it was Hollow Knight. kite chains, spookies. So we're about 2 minutes in and I already have no fucking idea what's going on here. Which might be the point. Those look like electric light bulbs. Dude's got no feet. That seems like a problem. Thing, nothing, 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 nothing. Swipey thing, nothing, nothing. Okay, so jump and swipe. Probably a door. The door seems to open on the side. Beings, these words are for you alone. Your great strength marks you amongst us. Focus your soul. You shall achieve feats of which others cannot dream. Collect soul by striking enemies. Once enough soul is collected, hold B to focus soul. No, not taking any damage. So I'm not good at this kind of game, clearly. So I'm interested to see. I think that gave me extra health, or maybe shielding? Oh, well, that's exciting. Let's see if I can't get back. Alright, well, those spikies look spiky. what does this one say? You enter the land of King and Creator. Step across this threshold, bear witness to the last and only civilization, the Eternal Kingdom Hallowed. Okay. I mean, it's not looking super civilized, I'll be honest. So, one thing that's jumping out as interesting, here's those light bulbs again. They look like street lights. One thing that's a little bit interesting is, so this grass, there's foreground grass and there's background grass. But my sword actually cuts through, I assume it's a sword. Well, so it can cut through some, but not all. Which is odd. Fading town. Alright.
No, to go with.
Townspeople all gone down the well into the cavern. Used to be there was a great kingdom beneath our towns. It still draws creatures to man travels Alright. Okay, so I rested. No idea what that did. Maybe it was a checkpoint. Okay. So here's what's happening, I think, and this is a guess, but this says for all your mapping supplies, we will be opening soon. It's kind of signposting that there is something going on. I didn't actually intend to fall down there. I probably should look to that. Maybe if you can find the store and bring them back, then you can start to get extra stuff. Yes, you'll have.
Dann Chat's da. Choco, this.
Okay, so this is one of the goons. The husband. So him and his wife are opening that shop. And the wife is there right now, so by my reckoning... Why don't we go this way? Sorry, I should go because I'm not looking at jumping. Holy shit. Yeah, fuck you, guy. Oh shit, there's more of them. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I got you. Alright, heal. That was a lucrative buy. Oh, bollocks, this dude's back. Oh, come on! Alright, well, I don't have to play. It's not a walk-in now. Alright, let's go back to the town. Maybe I don't need to die. This whole thing's fucking weird. Oh, okay, so that is, and then presumably because I talked to that dude now, his wife's store is open. So we've got like two.
Papa nada.
So the compass costs 220. But that's going to actually show my position on the map rather than me guesstimating it, which is what I was doing. That allows me to make new maps. Oh, interesting. So this is like an entire cartography thing. All of this shit is too expensive. But that's interesting. And there's another... What happens if I go here? So there's like, that feels like an end game kind of thing. So I could have taken the stag back. I guess it's a stag people. Those exit markers are interesting. That one's actually, it looks like it's just flipped. So the asset has actually been... in fact, let's go back and look at that. So if that was pointed the other way, it would say exit. And then I think it's been flipped through through the y-axis, rotated by 180. And you can actually see that it doesn't say exit anymore. What's going on here? Temple of what? Alright.
Nami no biz.
I've seen this ancient kingdom of manifested mysteries and wonder of the trigger into the step. A great stone egg lying in the corpse of an ancient kingdom. It certainly gives off a unique air. So that they showed that in the intro kind of cutscene, but it's not interactable. It doesn't. It's foreshadowing if feels more so than anything. But this symbol of the like egg with $1, egg with $2, egg with $6 is something that we keep seeing. I feel like that iconography has been around in the game already. Damn it. Got the big spiky tongue. So the aim of the game right now needs to be making money. Because once I've got 220 of these geodes, then I can buy the compass. Once I've got the compass, then I'm starting to have a better navigation experience. Oh shit, that's bomb. Well, this is bad time. Wiped. Now what happens? Okay, so now I go back to where I rested. I have nothing. Somebody's crying, maybe? Is this the same dude, do you think? Well, it doesn't seem super fair that he can get from up there. Damn it. Oh, this is a bad time. 2 white dots are indicating where I last died. Same dude. Oh, I think if I head straight over here. This, I think, is going to bring me back. Yes, this is the temple of the Engi. Some sort of a mine shaft. Collecting everything. sort of shiny lighty thing from that, like, dragon head statue. But generally the mine seems like it's lost. I don't really understand what they're supposed to do there, or what they're That dude's dead. What the fuck was that? enemy is very distinct, and somehow their body shape really kind of is telegraphing their attack style. Oh god damn it, I just stood on the fucking... Oh, fuck me. Now, okay. So yeah, so those white dots did move for...
そうだ。
So I think I paid a 50 whatever toll each. No, it's not even. What's that? What's that billboard? Bulletin board. Is that interactable? It feels like it to me. Giant fucking load of information. Okay, well. Let's see if this bro's got
YOLO no to go with.
Let's check. I think she needed 220.
Papanada.
She did, but you can get a quill for 120. Let's just... Jump down the thing. Get fucked. Oh, is that the little thing that I freed? Or did I just get a reward for having freed it? Okay, well that's interesting.
Dann Chat's da.
Maybe because I don't have the compass, I don't get to use. Oh shit, where did he come from? Well, bollocks. Alright, well it sounds like that noise is the trapped dealies. Now I can't jump. Suggested somewhere. Oops. Oh, sod it. Well, I can't get out of here either. Alright, I'll take it. Okay, I got to refill all my health. And... oh, now I think the shaded in parts are the areas that I've been to. That's annoying. Oh, well, I guess I stumbled into the boss room based on that. Huh. Well, there you go. Hollow Knight. Kinda don't know what I'm doing. Kinda got fucked. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of things to talk about from an AI point of view here. Like, you know, there's the roguelike. This probably isn't a procedural dungeon, but maybe it is. The fact that, like in a Rogue Legacy or something like that, the fact that the actual act of dying kind of resets things suggests that this isn't getting reset, the kind of world isn't being shuffled. Maybe it's procedurally generated as you start up. A little bit TBD, but at the same time, like the fact that it doesn't kind of cycle is suggestive that that's not actually the case. But yeah, I don't know. Hollow Knight. People say it's great, it's good. I mean, it's decent. I'm not a big fan of these kind of roguelike, I guess. Like, I like Legacy because of the way that it introduces different traits and kind of the generational element of it kind of adds something to the flavor. But honestly, it's not. This isn't feeling like a game that I just have to keep playing. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad game, because it's obviously not. These kinds of games are not strictly to my taste. I think it's really what I'm saying. Which is fine. Like, nothing that says that they have to be. That's why I'm enjoying Xbox. I'm enjoying this Game Pass system. It effectively where I can try a bunch of games. Not buying them, I'm renting. I've got no option now but to try and face him again. And that's kind of shit. Like this. Well, maybe I can kill this. Hey, bro. Maybe I can. Nope. Man. Nah. I mean, the nice thing about about the Game Pass thing, like I'm saying, is there's a ton of stuff to play. So I don't really use my my Xbox all that much. So when I moved, it got set up here next to the streaming setup on my desk in the office, and partly that was trying to get playing more, which didn't work for the first couple of months, but seems to be doing now. I really wanted to explore this Game Pass thing. I don't so much. I think I'm in the wrong screen. Let's go to the home screen, and then there's a dedicated Game Pass tab. I don't know what quest means. Oh, I was going to get Devil May Cry 5. I've actually been looking at that for buying it, so... And I'm hearing some really good things about this Bard's Tale 5. So this is In Exile, that's Brian Fargo's studio, and Bard's Tale is one of the kind of old school RPG type games. So In Exile is one of the studios that got
After a century of peace,
how do I maximize?
evil once.
Well, it's certainly not that button. Cool. I don't know. Oh, now it might be playing full screen. There we go. I think it did this last time, and then it just pops the overlay up. No, it doesn't seem like it.
After a century of peace, evil once again threatens Scarab Ray, sending shadowy horrors to slaughter innocent folk. You must travel from the bustling port of Scarab Ray to the Badish lowlands, the haunted forest of Entrir, and the icy isle of Stronsey. Recruit the heroes you meet along the way, or create your party from scratch. Fight as a rogue, fighter, practitioner, or bard, choosing from 18 classes and hundreds of skills, spells, and abilities for infinite character and playstyle customization.
Can you believe that? The idiots didn't even kill me properly!
Gather your party, grab your firepower, hitch up your kilt, and get ready to enter Bard's Tale 4 Director's Cut.
This is making me homesick. This actually doesn't break. I'm gonna start that installing. What I like about In Exile in general is so they are Brian Fargo was one of the guys behind the original Fallout. I think I want to say Infocom, but I might be wrong. Wow, that's going real slow. Anyway, In Exile is kind of the rebooted studio. They did the Wasteland series. They were collaborators with Obsidian on the Pillars of Exile. Kind of what was kind of a reboot of the Infinity Engine games like Baldur's Gate and all that kind of era. reimagined and rebooted in Unity for Wasteland for Pillars of not Pillars of Exile, Pillars of Eternity. And then In Exile actually got acquired by Microsoft, so they were part of the spending spree maybe a year ago, which was it was actually a really good set of studios that Microsoft acquired. It was like Ninja Theory, In Exile, and some other ones. Yeah. I think you might just be watching me install some games for a minute. We're gonna do Bard's Tale 4, Devil May Cry at some point. Like, there's some really good games in this Game Pass system. And Shadow of War, is that the first one or the second one? Don't know. 72 gigs, Jesus Christ. Tell you the, yeah, I mean, there's just so much to explore here, and this is kind of why I wanted to bust my Xbox out and get it wired up for streaming, because, like, I mean, there's some shite, definitely some shite. Not that I'm selecting things that might be shite. But at the same time, like, if you're paying for a Game Pass, why the shit not just pick it up and go with it? All games A to Z. Like, the amount of stuff that they've got here, like, I mean, Abzu is interesting. IDA ARB, like, I never understood that game. It's way beyond me. Banner Saga is something that I know I ought to have played, but have. This Black Desert game. One of my buddies, Jerome, when they were showing it off at E3 maybe last year, was super into it. I've never really gotten into it, but could be fun. City Skylines, not playing that on console. That's just not fun. Costume Quest was yeah, it was the Double Fine. Costume Quest 2, interesting. Not by Double Fine. I heard a lot about Dead Cells when it came out. Yeah, right, we'll shove that in the queue. Elder Scrolls Online, I assume what they're really wanting is to get you to upsell into some of the expansions, which, fair enough, like, I'm not for or against that. Fable series, I played the first little bit of the Elder Scrolls. They seemed like they were doing some really interesting thing with phasing. So different people being at different phases of the same physical space within the shard, but because you're in different kind of think of it like parallel dimensions. So I'm in the dimension where the dragon hasn't died and it's threatening me, and you're in the dimension where it has. And in your dimension, there's a whole bunch of scorch marks. In mine, there aren't. We're in the same physical location, but we're actually seeing distinct things. And that started out really interesting, but it suffers from MMOitis in that, like, it very much is like telling a hero's journey story in a world where you're queuing up for dungeons. And I find that way too immersion breaking. Like, my thing very much is, like, if you're telling a hero's journey kind of story, then I want to actually be the hero. I don't want to be one of 10,000 heroes on this server. But at the same time, like, it's difficult. Like, games in general want to make you feel special, and it takes a very, I was going to say nuanced viewpoint, but I don't know that nuance is the thing. But like, you've got to actually commit to a design philosophy that people aren't special. And if you do that, you actually can do some interesting things. Eve is a great example of that. Nobody in the Eve universe is special unless they actually make themselves special. And as a result of that, like, you can kind of live up or down to your what's the word I'm looking for? Like your potential, effectively. Like, if you want to be the guy who flips burgers in the space station, you absolutely can be Eve's equivalent of that. But if you want to be like the giant conglomerate CEO, you can do that as well. And that's one of the things that I really like about Eve. I spent 5 years playing Eve. I hated Eve for about 3 of them. But like, the social pressure and the social contract that you can create in that game, just because of the richness of the experience, is absolutely really fascinating. Oh yeah, Gears 5 just came out. Holy shit, you've got Gears 1, 2, 3, Judgment, 4, and then... Interesting. I wish I could get into Gears of War. It's a series that kind of passed me by. But I mean, we're only up to the G's here. This is why I'm really excited about, like, just getting to sit down with Game Pass and really dig in, because like, getting up to the G's and still having so much interesting stuff. Mass Effect, only the first one. That's a shame. Shadow... Oh, well, one is Shadow of Mordor, one is Shadow of War, so I guess the first one and the second one are here. That's going to be fun to poke at. Do want to make a point of actually playing these on the stream, because this Monolith Middle Earth games have this really interesting system called the Nemesis system. There's a whole bunch we're going to be able to talk about around how that system works and what it does. It's a really fascinating way of creating a very legible or readable kind of approach to simulating a hierarchy within NPCs, and that's super interesting. What else we got? We got to the M's pretty quick from the G's. There's a whole bunch of stuff here that I've just never heard of. I liked Recore, but I think I might have been the only one. Sea of Thieves is a really fun game, but it's really a multiplayer game, and it's not super stream. Well, from my perspective, it's not super streamable. It's not something that you can really talk to as you're playing it. Now, I think that there are interesting moments. I've heard Liz England calls Sea of Thieves what was the term? Anecdote factory. It's a really interesting kind of... Again, it kind of takes a bit of an Eve-ish model, in that kind of... It just goes, hey, you're a pirate, go. And there's a group of you working together, and you're on a server where you can be actively collaborating or not. And yeah, it's just... it kind of sets up a world where you can actually have really interesting multiplayer experiences. And that one's kind of not MMO, it's kind of that small scale, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for a lot of interesting fun. And if that sounds remotely compelling, check out Lizard England on Twitter. Liz is a fantastic designer at Ubisoft Toronto, but she often posts stories from Sea of Thieves of the things that her and a group of friends have been getting up to, which are really exciting to watch or to read about, I guess. Oh, jeez. How are we doing on some of those installs? Fucking not great. Okay. See all. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to call it for the night. So, if I still remember how to do this after 6 months, let me go to this. So this one's been a very loosey-goosey kind of thing. So let me see if I can do this. I always get this wrong. We've got social media. You can follow us at GameAI Show on Twitter, facebook.com/GameAI Show. I am going to try and do more with the stream. I know I've been away for 6 months, and I know I suck. But the long and short of it is that AI is fun, and it's 2019, and we ought to be A, doing things that are fun, and B, talking about AI and AI in games. There's an awful lot of interesting things that can be done with AI in games. I was at a conference last week, or not yesterday, last week, but like 10 days ago last week, if that makes sense, called the Foundations of Digital Games. That was a really fun academic conference talking about big focus there on AI and the capabilities of AI for games. There's going to be an AI summit at GDC. There's also going to be a machine learning summit at GDC this year. I'm going to try and take GDC off and actually be a tourist and catch up with people and not stress about 4 talks this year, which is how last year went down. Overall, though, I think that this is important stuff to be talking about. So I'll try and get a more coherent schedule together. My life is a little bit chaos right now between a bunch of work stuff, still helping to run the IGDA Foundation. You can find that at twitter.com/IGDA Foundation. I guess you say at IGDA Foundation, or igdafoundation.org. Yeah, just thank you for those of you who've been listening. I did actually see that there were a couple of people tuned in through the live stream. This video will get archived out to YouTube. It'll be featured on our website, which is shit. I should know that, huh? The website is gameai.show, actually. And you should be able to reach me directly. You can find me on Twitter at LukeD. In fact, at one point I had a lower third that had that, but I don't. No, it's none of those. Okay. Anyway, there is a. Or is it? Is it that? No, it's not that. Is it that? No, it's not that either. Cool. Well, yeah. Other than me rambling and pressing buttons, that's kind of all I've got for you for today. Big shout out to everybody who's listened, everybody who's tuned in. Please check out the social media. Like I say, it's going to be hopefully I'm going to be a little bit better about streaming on time, streaming on schedule, and maybe get some other people involved because I'm an unreliable fuck. And with that, I will see you next time, which will probably be next week or next weekend. Stay tuned for more information.